Hey guys, and welcome back to Real Talk No Gimmicks with Haley, Demi, and Aaron. So this is actually part 2 of an episode we were doing. We had a lot to talk about, and we kept going on and on and on. So this is going to be part 2. Again, really engaging, important conversation. So stay tuned, strap tight. What do I usually say? I'm like, strap in, strap tight.
Put your seatbelts on.
Put your seatbelt on, because even though it's a part 2, it's still a really great conversation, and we hope that you benefit from it.
Yes.
So without further ado, just keep on listening.
Just life. Like, what does it mean to be separate and distinct as a young person when culture tells you this is what, at 19, 20, college students, like, this is what you're supposed to do, and how do you handle it?
Man, that's something I've had to deal with in college. I mean, only being in sophomore year, I've seen a lot, you know, and I don't even go to a big university school like you guys go to, but I've seen a lot. And, you know, it's just, I feel like I've grown in my faith that, like, I know what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do, you know? And I think, I feel like it's a little bit hard because, like, you know, I'll get, like, invited to something, you know? Or, like, people are asking me to do things, but there's always that voice, like, in the back of my head that, like, I don't think you should do that, you know? And it's not me trying to be, like, oh, like, I'm better than you, or, like, oh, like, I don't need to take part in that, thank you very much. But, like, it's, like, I know I'm not supposed to, you know? Like, you know, you get, like, that gut feeling that you're, like, this isn't for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you just know. And I feel like a lot of times you kind of, like, throw that in the back, and we're like, no, like, it's fine. Like, just, I know I don't feel like it, but I'll just go, you know? But I feel like I've valued that a lot now because, it's keeping me safe, and I'm fine, you know? Like, I'm not the one who goes to, like, huge college parties and has to be involved in what everyone's drinking and smoking and stuff. And I don't do that, but, like, I'm still happy with, like, the life that I have. And I know I can still enjoy my college experience without that, you know?
Yeah.
And without taking part in those activities. And again, we're not here to tell you what to do. Do what you want. Live your life. Everyone has, like, a different testimony and things that they want to do and what they don't want to do. But I'm just talking about me personally. That there's a lot of things that, you know, have been offered to me and have been presented to me that I don't want to take part in. And, like, I know that's not where I belong, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely relate. And I feel like it's more of a character trait. It's some trait. Okay, I'm socially awkward. I prefer to be in small groups. You know, like, there's a party out there. I like to be in my dorm watching a movie with some, you know, roommates and call it a day. But I definitely get where you're coming from, Aaron. Like, I'm just not that type of person that would party or drink or smoke or anything else. And surprisingly, here right now in this moment, I don't feel guilty, because I know during my time at in my college, I felt a little bit guilty. Like, I asked my roommates, like, man, like, I said no to this person because of a party. Like, maybe I should have gone, or maybe I should have had this one sip. Like, am I a bad person? Like, even this very good friend of mine is, like, asking me, oh my gosh, you don't party? Like, you don't go to this event? I'm like, no. And, like, it was the way they looked at me that kind of made me feel a little bit concerned, like, oh, am I doing something wrong? But looking back, I'm glad I made my choice. And again, you do you guys. There's nothing wrong with what you guys do. I'm just saying from personal experience, for me, I just don't. You know?
Yeah. And it's not to say we're not fun people, because we are.
Oh, we party.
We know how to
We have a great time.
We go to uni parties. We dance.
We dance. We get.
Yeah, we're not hermits. Like,
We're
we
not-
don't.
Yeah, we have lives.
And
And
we
I
don't
think
sit with the Bible like everyone's at a
Amen.
party.
Like, even didn't David dance? You know, like, didn't David get low or
David danced.
something?
David danced. Jesus
Wait,
turned
I'm sorry.
water into wine during a wedding ceremony.
No.
What did she say?
No, I said nothing.
the saint said David got low.
I mean, we don't know. It's a possibility.
I'm gonna need that
It's
Bible
a
verse.
Oh my gosh.
But I think that's a misconception about Christian young people, is that without the alcohol and the sex and everything else, like, you can't have a good time. Who said that?
Who said
I think that's
that?
for, like, another episode.
Who said that,
Right?
though?
I think we'll talk
Yeah.
more about this
Yeah,
in
we'll
another
well,
episode.
you don't-
And you shouldn't feel guilty of not, and I think that was the main thing about separate and distinct, of not feeling guilty about your nose. Like, people have offered me, like, oh, do you want this drink? Like, we had a long week. Like, no. Number one, I don't have a desire for it. Like, and I think it's something, it doesn't, like, excite me. Like,
It's
people
not
are like, oh my
appealing.
gosh, I'm gonna like to me, I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
I can take a nap to wind down,
And,
but
and not even gonna lie, like I've accidentally drank, like, you know, when your parents leave something, you drink it, it's nasty. And I'm quite sure just from the smell of it, my thoughts on it hasn't changed. It's just gross.
it smells like
It-
glue, like
Poison.
like like
actual
gorilla glue
poison.
or something.
Like
I
it's
don't
just
know.
not appealing.
Right, and
Yeah.
like even one last thing, like, okay, obviously we're all gonna be 21. I'm not saying, okay, for me, will I drink heavily? No.
No.
Once I turn 21, like I'll have a wine here and
I'll
there.
have a wine and champagne. why
Right,
not?
you know, the other day. But like someone asked,
I'm sorry.
someone was talking to me the other time, and they're like, "Why not drink right now?" And I'm like, "Why should I drink now? Like I have time."
It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah, that too. I forgot about that. But but no.
She's like, oh, I forgot there's laws.
Yeah, this is laws for a reason.
But no, I'm like, I wait, and that's. I'm sorry, I heard something. But that's beautiful. Like just waiting for something. Like everything comes in the right time, and like if you wait, then you'll have a wonderful. Whoa, you'll have a wonderful time. I just.
It's
love this
okay.
It's
episode.
okay.
I was just
No,
gonna say,
I'm just hearing things.
I know like we all feel like that, but when you see people our age like engaging in things like that, do you ever at any time feel left out or feel like maybe I should be not necessarily joining them, like doing what they're supposed to do, but should I be more social? Should I be among people, you know, who are my age and who are necessarily having fun? Do you guys ever feel like that?
I think it's that feeling of wanting to be included.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like I want to drink, but it's just
Yeah.
like the feeling like, man, I feel like nobody can relate. Like there's no you instantly, at least me, you instantly go into that mindset of, man, nobody gets it, and I'm here all by myself. I'll be honest. I think it was my first semester of college. I was in my dorm room on the floor, crying, like bawling because somebody had offered like, oh, do you want to go back to my room? Let's just like smoke, and I was like, I don't do that. And I went back to my room, and the other people I was with was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to show up. Like, let me just change my outfit. And so they're all getting ready to go meet up.
You're
And
not.
I'm just like, nah, I don't do that. But thank you for, you know, looking out. But, you know, that's not my thing. And so the heaviness of, like, man, nobody gets it. Like, the feeling, like Demi said, not necessarily guilty is not necessarily what I felt, but just, like,
Concerned.
the look that people give, like,
Yeah.
oh, so you've never had a drink before, like you
Yeah.
don't smoke,
Like, you're not
what?
even
like
human
like
or
you're not
something?
human,
Right.
and it makes you feel like you were saying like you're missing out on something. And in those moments, I think a good thing to remember is to ask yourself, like, what kind of Christian walk do you want? Because it's
Right.
not mandate. Number one, you don't have to be a Christian. It's not.
Right.
God could have easily made us robots and just made us all worship Him and love Him, but He
Exactly.
didn't. He gives us a free will and a
that's
choice.
love, yeah.
And that's love. But do you want to be like a Christian that's on fire for Him? Or do you want to be a lukewarm Christian where it's like you can't? I don't want people to ever get. I don't want people to get me confused at all. Like, don't come ask me, oh, so you don't like drink and smoke and like in a way that's like you can't tell that I'm Christian. Because it makes me concerned. Like, am I not living like all the way sold out because you don't seem to see it? And it could just be their perspective, but I don't want to ever be in a place where I'm so attached to wanting to fit in to culture that like people can't see Christ in me, because that's the point, like letting your light shine. I don't want to be lukewarm where it's like 1 week on Sunday I'm like on fire for the Lord, I'm crying and worshiping Him, and then on Tuesday I act like everybody else and there's no difference. Because God puts you in environments even when you feel like you're the only one that doesn't drink or smoke, just to be that one example. Because there's people that everybody they've ever met has always said yes. Even maybe they were uncomfortable, but they just gave in to
They
peer
just gave
pressure.
in.
And you're the first example of somebody that said, she just said no. Like, everybody in this group just said that we're going to all go to the party and hook up and drink and do all these things, but she was the only one that said no. And that resonates with some people.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like, now how does she survive college and don't have like a smoke outlet? Like, you know, and it makes people even ponder, like, maybe
They
that
think
Jesus
about it,
thing is
yeah.
real. Nah. And even if it's short lived, it gives somebody perspective. So I
Right.
try to keep that in mind.
That's
And
really good.
I just want to say it's okay to say no, guys, okay? Because you
It's
brought up
okay
a
to say
good point.
no.
Like, college, there is a lot of peer pressure. Like, We already said, like, we were tempted to go to a party. We were tempted to drink, smoke, but we said no. So there's a beautiful power behind saying no. But yeah,
whether you're Christian or not, if
Yeah,
they
in
don't ever
general.
do anything that you're not comfortable with.
Right.
If you have a conscience for a reason, you have a gut feeling for a reason, so like follow that.
Yeah.
You can really get into something that, you know, that you don't want to be in. And again, I'm not saying like don't ever have fun. Don't, you know, again, live your life. If
Right.
everyone's walk is different.
Right.
But at the end of the day, in college, it's a whole new, different environment with so many different types of people. So you want to make sure, like, you're in the right place, in the place that you are comfortable with. So don't ever, no matter what anyone asks you, what anyone offers you, don't do anything that you're not comfortable with.
Right.
A lot of the time, like, if you're immediately getting, like, a no feeling, then that's probably the right feeling, you know?
Right. And also, there's different standards of fun. Like, when you think of fun, it's not just all about partying, drinking. Like, you could go to a roller coaster or
Hobbies.
skate or something. I don't know. Like, there's just different standards of fun. You know, it's not just that one thing.
Yeah.
So I just want to get that out there. But
And,
yeah.
and don't lose sight of God's promises
That
about
too.
your life.
That
Like,
too.
he gives you, if you, like we talked about a lot, like noise,
Yeah.
when you're still enough to actually hear from him, he doesn't reveal the whole plan at once, but he gives you pieces of the puzzle. Like,
Yeah.
okay, in your life, I want you to do this, or you're going to do this, or you're going to go here, you're going to see this. Hold on to that in those moments when culture and Christian war against each other.
Yeah.
Because culture can seem enticing, because it's fun in the moment, but I'm just excited to see how the whole puzzle comes together. So just remember what he says about your life, what he says about you, and remember that he has a plan for you that's bigger than maybe what you can even see now.
Exactly.
Yes,
Like
yes.
if you're just I was gonna say, like, if you're still breathing, you're alive, like, God's not done with you. Like, you
Yeah.
still have time as long as you're on this planet. So
Yeah.
So yeah, don't forget to love your parents. Don't forget to just live your life, to just be you. And don't forget that you are allowed to say no, you know? And
Say no, kids.
yeah. And don't forget to honor God. So, yeah. Oh, and don't
I
forget.
was gonna say the most
Oh
important
yeah,
one.
I was getting there. Yo, okay. Don't forget to
Stay real.
See ya.